Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today, we are headed to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, a track where I think we'll have a decent chance to have a solid run here today as Christopher Bell at the top of the playoff standings. Of course, we continue to find ourselves in the bubble fight after a crazy Atlanta Motor Speedway result there where Kyle Busch won. We got a great result in the top 5, or actually just outside of the top 5, but overall a great points day. And we had a big team meeting coming into this race, which I'll let you guys listen on right now as we were headed to the track.
All right, guys, it's been an up and down season so far. Just wanted to say thanks for the hard work and dedication. I want to touch on our progress for next season. We're in talks with Hendrick to have a close working relationship, and I think we will have very competitive cars next year. Also looking to finalize contracts for drivers in all 3 of our cars within the next couple of weeks. I'll be in touch with you all directly.
Well, there you guys go, as we get on track in Saturday morning here from New Hampshire, but we kind of got the status of the union, you can call it here, Colleague Racing, what's going on. Looking to have 3 drivers signed with contracts within the next episode or 2, which would be the weeks or 2, as well as you heard that Colleague is potentially going to have a close working relationship or an alliance with Hendrick Motorsports going into next season, which would greatly improve the performance of this Colleague team as a whole. We've had our ups and downs as a team, and so far, of course, we find ourselves in the bubble with the 2 full-time drivers and myself and Haley. Our practice times here, by the way, the best we've had all season in terms of the goal time on track. So I was feeling pretty excited and confident coming into qualifying here. Now, as the goal was a 30 flat. We'll see if we can match that just like we were doing in the practice time. So we're going to come through to start our lap here from New Hampshire. You think about the recent trends. Christopher Bell has been so strong. Obviously, Bell not the most thrilled with me after what happened there in Road America. Things got physical, and he has been unbelievably strong aside from that finish there, obviously. But we'll see if we can keep it up at a track that, well, you look at Christopher Bell to be the guy to beat when it comes to New Hampshire. So I think, honestly, today my pick is Christopher Bell to win this race. We exit turn 4 down the front straightaway, a really rough turn 4, so it's going to slow us down a little bit. We're going to beat the goal as we hit a 29.607, but we end up P18, which honestly was a tad bit worse. I was hoping for a top 15 or so, so it's a bit worse than I expected. But you see Haley right there with us as well. Allmendinger not too far different from us as well. You see the bottom of the grid there. Riley Herbst now. Michael McDowell 22nd place. Expect to see some improvements out of that performance in that car. Allmendinger actually all the way up in 8th, but on pole Hamlin and then Byron on the front row with them. Truex there, another bubble driver in the top 5. Xfinity Series was back this weekend. They were in Atlanta. Allmendinger picked up the win over there. Now he is as well in the Cup race this weekend, obviously, so doing double duty. We will have Chandler Smith in the car for the 13 for the next few races. But now it's time to go racing on Sunday.
We're here from sunny New Hampshire. Welcome, race fans, as we continue to close in on the playoffs. Just 7 races remain in the regular season.
It's crunch time now, Rick. Expect to see more weeks like Atlanta. Risky calls all around.
And risky driving, too, Steve. These guys are going to have to get after it if they are on that playoff bubble.
All right, Denny Hamlin, you got us up here?
Yeah, Dale, what's up?
Well, you're starting on pole here in New Hampshire where you've won before. Do you got a good enough car to hang on to first today?
I hope so. Our team has been really quick in the summer, but I know the 20 is going to be the one to beat, so we'll see.
All right, good luck out there.
That was Denny Hamlin, who starts on pole position today. Looking at stories of the race, both 2311 cars starting at the back today.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace with an unapproved body modification. And Tyler Reddick failed optical scanning station multiple times.
Well, there you have it. Did you notice the AI voices sound even better now? So the Site 11 Labs added a new update, and it's English Volume 2 multilingual. It's even better as we get racing here, though, from New Hampshire Motor Speedway now, and a very, very interesting one on the way for me, because this is a track I feel like we can really run well at, but, timing of cautions and the long green flag runs that can kind of hit here in New Hampshire, I think are going to play a big role in the decision of where we're going to end up here today. But side by side with the 31 of Justin Haley as we head down this back straightaway into turn 3. Hamlin leads the way over William Byron. Kevin Harvick, you heard Hamlin in the pre-race there talking with Dale Jr. As well, saying to watch out for that 20 car, which is what I'm saying. This is kind of Christopher Bell's wheelhouse. You think back in 2021, he was probably going to get Almirola, maybe not, but the caution came out, ended that race early. 2022, of course, Bell picked up the victory, and now, of course, we come to 2023, and we come to the lap 5. I'm going up the inside of Ryan Blaney. Brad Keselowski, one of the drivers inside the playoffs, of course, without a win. We've kind of talked about the playoffs so much. William Byron now to the lead over Hamlin, so Hamlin already losing P1, but, you know, the 3 big names in the playoffs without a win so far. Denny Hamlin, as well as Kyle Larson and Joey Logano. 3 names that usually we are used to having multiple wins by this point in the season, while none of them have won anything. If we keep up the current trends of, you know, repeat winners and whatnot, it's just a matter of a few races now until we see all 3 of those names probably locked into the playoffs just on points alone as we continue in this side-by-side battle here with the 31. Ryan Blaney putting some pressure on us, of course, going against our colleague racing teammate here as we head down this backstretch, and you can see now as we head down into 3 that he kind of has the edge there, but now I'm going to go a little bit deep into the corner. Blaney gets up the inside of that 31 machine. I think he might get us both, honestly, out of turn 4. He will. Blaney gets a 2-for-1 special here through 3 and 4 across the stripe. So we go P16. The 31 still looking at my left rear as we head down into 1, but you can see we will finally get clear of that 31 car now as we are going to hold on briefly to P16 for a little bit here. We come to lap 10. You can see not much has changed. Kurt Busch now falling down the order. We have continued, you know, to kind of pay attention and watch this progress of the 67 as his teammates of Reddick and Bubba Wallace have continued to improve. The 67 has continued to fall backwards, so it's a little bit unfortunate for Kurt Busch. He's the only one that didn't start at the back for 2311 Racing today, but I mean, at this rate, he might be the one that finishes the worst, with just how far down he's dropping here. 5 laps to go in stage 1, a pretty short stage 1. I think stage 2 about 25 laps or so, and then the third and final stage about the 30 or so lap mark here now. But around the outside of Kurt, trying to make it work, but as these laps are going on, the second lane is where you want to be, but my car was starting to slip and slide around a little bit here, so once we get to the end of the stage, definitely going to be asking for a few adjustments here. But, you know, even though the car was starting to slip and slide a little bit, still a decent speed. I mean, we started, what, 18th? We're up here battling for 14th with Kevin Harvick in his final season. Of course, winless in real life. I would love to see Harvick. I've never been a big fan of him, but would still love to see him win one more race in his Cup Series career like he has here in Heat 5 at a fantasy track, you could call it, with Kentucky Speedway now. As we head down this front stretch, you can see just struggling to get around the outside of the 4. You can kind of see where the car is falling off. Allmendinger, our part-time teammate, up there in 13th place now. Byron looking like he might win the stage. I say that, but no, out of turn 4, Christopher Bell would take the lead. We're 3 wide with Harvick and Kurt Busch. As we come through out of turn 4, we're going to give up the spot to the 67. He'll get past Harvick as well. And Bell, it took him till the final lap, basically, of stage 1 to get to the front, but I think, you know, it's going to be hard to pass him back here today. I don't know if anybody's going to have anything for him now that he's got that clean air. 3 wins on the season for Bell, and he has been on fire in these recent weeks now as he heads down the front straightaway. Christopher Bell is going to win stage number 1 here from New Hampshire. We go up to that second groove trying to get a run, but it's not going to be enough. So P16 here in stage 1, the second best colleague car, the best of the full-time colleague cars, as we watched our teammate of Haley kind of drop down the order. Harrison Burton climbed to P17. Watch out for the future driver of that 10 car here today. Yeah, if we can just tighten it up a little bit, it just kind of frees up as the run goes on.
Yeah, I got you. We'll put some wedge in it and lower some pressures.
You hear the plan there. So yeah, going a bit higher on the wedge from a 50 flat to a 50.3, and mainly attacking the right side tire pressures there that are in the high 20s, lowering those. As you can see, the left sides are already down in that 12 area. So we gained 2 spots in the pit. A great stop from the pit crew here, and we'll be right behind the 67 and 5 of Kurt Busch and Kyle Larson as a green flag is going to wave here for the second stage from New Hampshire. Now Allmendinger on the inside. Like I said, you're going to see Chandler Smith in that 13 car for the next bulk of races that lead towards Indianapolis Road Course, where Allmendinger will then hop back in the car. We're going to go 4 wide aggressive here on this restart now. As we exit turn 2, we're going to really hurt the momentum of the 67, and unfortunately I hurt the momentum of my teammate of Allmendinger as well. And look who goes through. Harrison Burton in the 21. Questions, of course, have been raised over the season. We remember when Fox brought Tony Stewart into the booth earlier in the season, asked him, why are you putting Harrison Burton in the 10 car? And it was mainly because they believe in him, but the big thing as well is he's bringing funding. See that DEX on the car? That's going to be a big role going into that Stewart-Haas Racing program for Harrison Burton. And although they bring on that sponsors, I bring on the wall hitting there in the, on the exit of turn 2, but Stewart-Haas will also be losing a sponsor. You know, Smithfield will be leaving the team, going with Eric Almirola to Wood Brothers Racing in the 21. Lantion has made some bangers when it comes to the 10 and the 21 that I can't wait for you guys to see as well. They both look absolutely fantastic. He's already whipped them up. He's got some awesome paint schemes in the works as well. And then, of course, we have the Andretti team coming on next season, which is really the one big change that will be coming. And I can't wait for you guys to see the Andretti cars with LaJoy and Hocevar behind the wheels for them now as we exit turn 2. Now, Andretti is going to be making a debut very soon here as well in the career mode. Stay tuned, maybe when we're turning right next. So the next time we go to a road course, it's going to be really interesting here. Now, we're going to have some international drivers, but as well, like I said, the Andretti debut sounding very likely for that race as well. And the number 98 is what the rumor is right now. So stay tuned. We continue up into P13. We got a 26-lap stage. So, you know, 11 extra laps here in stage 2. I was a little bit concerned about, you know, the handling of the car because by the end of the stage 1, which was, you know, only 15 laps, the car was starting to slip and slide. So although we made those adjustments there at the end of stage 1, still having a bit of a concern in mind of how this car could possibly drive late in stage number 2. To the back of the 21 of Harrison Burton, who's having a great run here in 12th place right now. It's been an all-green race, looking aside from the stage caution, of course, and you can see myself chasing the car up into lane number 3, even just trying to find a little bit of momentum. I will never run the inside here, you know, where that 21 is. It just doesn't work for me, and you can find so much more speed in this lane right here now. So we've run him down, but look in the mirror. You got the 17 of Chris Buescher there for Roush Fenway Keselowski, who's joined into the battle, and here he is. He's going to be looking at my inside down into turn number 3, and I think this is going to be actually a very easy pass for this number 17 Fastenal Ford Mustang. Yes, it is. He might even get the 21 of Harrison Burton. I don't know where he has come from, but there is some speed in that 17 car. And of course, we are battling with that guy for the playoffs starting probably next episode. I think we have 6 races left in the regular season going into next episode, so we're going to start to follow that bubble even closer, of course, now, and try to here and there bring up some point updates over the stages and whatnot, kind of like a live points thing that you see sometimes NBC do. So yeah, stay tuned. Working on some things there to kind of make the series even cooler now as I, speaking of cool, I'm not being very cool right now, getting into the outside wall. The car was starting to slip and slide again, and you were starting to see it here, so that was a big concern, and you're going to see, look at this, lap 19 now, I'm sliding all over the place here on the exit of turn 2, going for a big slide here. That's going to open the door for the 67 of Kurt Busch, the 2 of Cindric as well. They're going to go around the outside. Behind us, here comes Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace. They both started at the back together. They both have somehow managed to stick right together this whole race, and they are now both right up on our rear bumpers here now. So watch out for the 45 and the 23 now of Reddick as he is going to look up my inside down into turn 1. Remember when I joked earlier that Busch started the best of the 2311 cars because he didn't have to start at the back, but he might end up finishing the worst? I think that's going to happen because the 45 and the 23 have both run him down. So not looking very good, but I'm going backwards as well, just like both of my teammates, of Allmendinger as well as Haley, who's fallen back quite drastically in this race so far. But Blaney goes through, Bubba Wallace goes through. We're down to P18. We got Allmendinger as well as Kevin Harvick and Austin Dillon still behind us. And here's Austin Dillon now up my inside as we approach just 4 to go on the stage. And so far, no cautions in stage 2. Dillon gets clear. Here comes Cindric up the inside on the exit of 4. Another easy pass for him. I could barely drive this car at this point. It was just slipping and sliding everywhere here. And you can see, I mean, into the outside wall. Again, the tire light has come on. Thankfully, it's the final lap here of stage 2. But we need some more adjustments now. Christopher Bell, since he took the lead, has not been passed. And out of turn 4, Christopher Bell is going to go down the front straightaway to win stage 2. Another stage win on the season. He's closing in on 10 stage wins now. Allmendinger's going to get us. I send it into turn 3, hoping 10th place just crosses the line. But unfortunately, right there, when the caution finally flies, Allmendinger was ahead of us by like a centimeter or two. So P22 in the stage when we were up in, 13th, battling for 12th with Harrison Burton at one time. So a bit frustrating, definitely, that the fall off in this car is this drastic. So I'm a bit concerned for the final stage. We're going to box, you see me up the wedge there to 50.5. But Bell, Byron, Logano, Chastain, Suarez, Gibbs up there as well. Truex, all big names, Gibbs and Truex specifically getting some stage points. Buescher as well. As everybody is going to flood into the pits for 4 tires and fuel. Let me know in the comment section down below right now as we get ready for stage 3 to get underway, which is now officially underway. But in my F1 channel, Formula Owen, which you can check out, of course, I do a Through the Grid every career mode episode where the AI, Crofty, Brundle, Ted Kravitz as well come in and kind of commentate on what's going on in the race, how the race has gone, etc. And then sometimes they bring in like crew members to talk. Should we do a version of that in the NASCAR series as well, where, you know, maybe post stage 2, going into stage 3, we kind of have a segment where we have our own Through the Grid in the NASCAR side where the commentators will talk about it, and maybe here and there, of course, an interview and whatnot. So let me know down below right now if you want to see that come into the NASCAR series as we continue on. Cole Custer for the 51 Rick Ware Racing Machine to my right rear, but not a good restart. Down to P25, we got all of Stewart-Haas Racing right here. You got Briscoe, Harvick, Almirola, and the 41 just behind us of Ryan Preece. I had a bit of a tail slapper on the exit of the corner there, but going to the outside of the 10, just trying to get up to that second groove, but it was a little bit complicated. It took me a bit to get rolling because the 4-car of Harvick had a bit of a tendency to enter the corners really high, and that wouldn't allow me to get to his outside until finally a few laps later when the opportunity would open up and I would get to the right rear of that 4 and just roll through the center. That's where this car really, really is strong. The center of the corner in both 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, it just rolls right on through, so we can go around the outside of these guys. So we'll pass the 14 of Briscoe, but only up in a P22. Bell continues to lead. Kurt Busch, our teammate of Justin Haley, just ahead. We have run down the 31 now and the 67 collectively as we look to the inside of that 31 on the exit of 4 down this front straightaway. He checks up for the 67 of Kurt Busch into turn number 1 as I tag the back of the 31, and Haley's going for a slide. He's going to go around, and there we go, spinning into the grass, and the caution is going to fly here in New Hampshire. I did not mean to do that. Please immediately apologize. I wasn't even trying to be aggressive. I had no intention of running into the back of my teammate and wrecking him. You see Haley in momentarily what his radio reaction was to that, but we decided to pit because I can put 4 tires on. I know how the car is going to drive on the long run, so I take this as an opportunity to put 4 tires on now and use that to my advantage and maybe get a decent finishing result out of it instead of falling off drastically at the end of this race because it's only 16 laps to go. You see Christopher Bell's out in front, and up top under the rearview mirror, again, just like Road America, you see the radio message right there from Justin Haley. So yeah, not very happy. He says we can make it up to him in some form, so we'll see what we can do now. We're up the inside of the 77 of Ty Dillon. Of course, a nice history there. Ty Dillon, his future uncertain in the Cup Series right now as we continue through 3 and 4. But I think that's maybe the first run-in we've had with a teammate, and it wasn't even on purpose. I wasn't trying to move him out of the way or anything. I ran out of talent. I drove into the back of him. A really light hit. I was surprised that it spun him around, but, you know, it is what it is. We move on. So we come through 1 and 2, up the inside of the 34, getting really aggressive there on the apron even. Surprised by how bad the 34 is running. I've been paying attention, obviously, to what's happened with this 34 in real life, and I said he's definitely got to start running better. And this is like the worst he's run all season, so I don't know what's going on there after the changes. So we continue on, and there's the 31 of Haley. Of course, lost a lot of track position from the spin. I'm going around the outside as we exit turn number 2. Ryan Preece right there on our inside, 3 wide in the middle. We continue down the back straightaway. Haley giving us room. Thankfully, he's not a rival or anything, so we continue on and up the inside of the 42 of Justin Allgaier. You're going to see some other drivers start to rotate through that car very, very soon. Up, though, the P27 with 12 laps to go. The caution flies with 12 to go, and it looks like it's an engine failure, and it's actually the 2 of Austin Cindric. Austin Cindric with an engine malfunction. That's either sending him to the pit lane and back out on the track in the very back of the pack, or he's going to be completely out of this race. Very unfortunate there, so I'm pretty happy we made that 4-tire call as we're going to get ready to go green. But first, we got a brief chat from our crew chief.
Okay, here's the deal. The guys up top want you to let the 31 finish ahead of you after the crash.
How about he tries to pass me? I mean, you hear what I said. If he wants to beat me, go on past me. As we get back underway here from New Hampshire, of course, the team, in their idea of me making it up to Haley, is letting him beat me, but we're in both this bubble area together. It doesn't make sense to give up a point now as I get into the back of Keselowski. Well, now the 31 is going to get ahead of us, so not what you want to see for me as we exit turn 2 down this backstretch, less than 10 laps to go. Bell in command again, looking for win number 4 on the season, which would be the most of anybody here, as I'm going to dive to the inside of the 41 and the 6 of Parise and Keselowski, and we will be able to complete this move if we get a good run on the exit of 2. Yes, we do. Clear of the 41, side by side still with Brad, but we would clear him into 3. Now on the inside of Kurt Busch. The 31 moving through the traffic here. He's past the 38 of Gilliland. He's up the inside of the 48 of Alex Bowman, who's having a pretty rare clean race in this series, but just not the speed you expect out of that Ally Financial Chevrolet here. Now as we'll pass the 38, we'll get to the outside of the 48 here on the exit of turn 4, lap 69. Nice coming to lap 70. Right on the back of that 31. We go to the outside, and we're going to go for the overtake.
Did you not get the message? I hate it as much as you do, but the team wants you to make it up to them.
I heard it. I heard it, but I'm not making it up to him here. Now we're in our own fight for the points up the inside of the 14 of Chase Briscoe. Of course, a rookie in the Cup Series. We're trying to, of course, make it known. We're not going to move aside. We're here to fight, and we're going to fight hard. Up the inside of the 10 of Almirola now. 5 laps to go. Can't quite complete the pass on the bottom, and now kind of get stuck right here behind this 10 here in these final closing moments of the day. Now as we exit turn 4. Final lap underway here in New Hampshire. The 20 of Christopher Bell out in front. He's under pressure from the likes of Logano and Byron, and the 31's right behind us. A lunge one around the outside of that Smithfield 10 Ford Mustang. It's not going to be enough again on the exit of turn 2. I mean, a great opportunity to rotate positions with the 31, but I'm not going to as we head down this back straightaway into turn 3. Team orders have come into effect here at Colleague Racing, but we're not moving aside for it. We exit turn 4 down the front straightaway. One last lunge. Christopher Bell wins in New Hampshire as we expected. We cross the stripe, not enough for the 10 of Almirola, and we end up P21.
All right, Gary, we're going to have a chat after the race. Come see me in the trailer.
Well, there you hear the team owner over the radio, so that kind of sets up the start for next episode where you're going to hear that conversation. How about 2311 Racing and Bubba Wallace making up some big points, Busch making up a few points as well, as you see the rest of the finishing order. So, like I said, we're not moving aside for team orders, but we're definitely going to have a chat here, and I think there might be more coming out of this than what we expect. So stay tuned. I think there might be some news about the future for Colleague coming up very soon that will be affected by what just happened on track here today. You see the Xfinity standings will be showing trucks in the next one as the trucks do return. We go to the Tricky Triangle at Pocono Raceway. You see we are still in the playoffs, but Bell at the top of the board with 4 wins now at the top of the playoff battle and the top of the regular season, 9 stage wins as well. He's absolutely cracked right now. You see the rest there of that playoff grid. Now, Ryan Preece, let's not forget, he won Talladega. He's in the playoffs there. But Gibbs, myself, in by not a lot, but Truex is the first one out by 26, Haley out by 37, Brad 44, Reddick 46, Bowman 53, and then you see the ones at the need wins column. Those are the ones that are basically right below Bowman and further down. That's going to wrap it up for me. If you guys enjoyed, you know, as usual, what to do, and we're going to start that next episode out with hearing that chat with the team owner and kind of see what the status is. So I'll see you guys then for Pocono, the Tricky Triangle. Have a great day, everybody.